How's everyone doing? It's your boy Skilled Fawn. We're back doing some Sekiro challenge runs. Let's waste no time and get straight on into the rules. Starting off, I cannot level my attack power, hence I'm stuck at AP 1. Attack power will build up posture meter faster, alongside dealing more damage. Since we are at the lowest, this means I'll deal the lowest amount of damage. Next, I have to be Charmless. At the beginning of the game, the player has the option to give Kuro his charm. If given, this will cause enemies and bosses to have more health and deal more damage. This is alongside Sekiro now receiving chip damage, which is about 20 to 30% of his health depending on the attack. This will make the game much harder. Afterwards, I have to ring the demon bell. This upgrades all enemies and bosses' stats. This means that they deal more damage, have more health, and inflict more damage / posture meter to Sekiro. I must beat the game, though I don't have to kill every boss. And then lastly, glitches and or exploits are allowed. I am excited to share this run with you guys as I spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears going through this. Now onto the video. We talk to Kuro and give him his charm. You can see in the bottom left that I'm charmless as a red icon appears. Next we head into Genichiro's fight. I'm actually not required to take him down, but I figured after my no death run that I could easily dispatch of him. The most difficult part is that since Sekiro doesn't have the Mikiri counter skill, this early on, I have to parry all of his perilous attacks. Eventually, we take him down and progress onwards. Near Senpu Temple, we find the Demon Bell and ring it. On top of the previously mentioned downsides, this happens to have an upside, which is that enemies have higher drop rates for items, and this will come in handy later. Afterwards, we head into the next fight. There's nothing incredibly noteworthy in this fight besides the Demon Bell and Charmless making parrying a lot more precise. If the player does not parry at the correct time consistently, then the damage will eventually add up to be a lot. We are still really early game, so we haven't felt the effect of AP 1 as much as Demon Bell and Charmless. Later on, this will become a lot more apparent when boss fights are 10 to 15 plus minutes. With the Blazing Bowl, I really enjoy pairing his slam down attack to then get a quick thrust attack. This way I bypass attacking him on the side, where he has massive damage resistance. There are definitely a wide variety of playstyles to combat him, but this is one I recommend the most. I have been practicing the bowl skip in my free time off stream, but still haven't had much success. Hopefully soon I'll be able to skip this boss altogether, and after some time we take him down and head into Ashina Castle. In Ashina Castle we find a few bosses, but the most notable one is Genichiro Ashina. This is the boss that we faced off within the first few minutes. Now we come back to exact revenge. I really enjoy a lot of fights in Sekiro, but Genichiro, Emma, and Ishin's fights are perfect battles in my opinion. The almost rhythmic parrying dance that plays out between Sekiro and these bosses are amazing. Also, just listening to the almost quote-unquote music that comes from this is beautiful. Eventually, we send him into his third phase, where we are able to get massive damage with lightning reversals. After sending it back, you can see that I'm able to get a few attacks in. Another thing you might have noticed is that this is when AP 1 really starts to show. The low damaging attacks and the posture meter slowly building makes these mid to late game fights really tough. After taking down Genichiro, we get the Mortal Blade. This is one of the craziest weapons in the game as it deals massive damage. This isn't as crazy as almost 99% of people watching this video are not subscribed. If you enjoy this type of video and content, be sure to subscribe as it really helps to support me and the channel more than you can imagine. I decide to head over to Corrupted Monk's fight to try and take her down, but was having a very poor time. So instead of spending more time on her, I thought fighting Guardian Ape next would be a good call. Guardian Ape without Demon Bell and Charmless has a reputation of being a difficult boss. Then adding Demon Bell, Charmless, and AP1 make him even more menacing. A few good things that I have in my belt are some nice sugars for buffing myself alongside the Mortal Blade. Even if enemies or bosses attempt to block the Mortal Blade, it will deal chip damage to them. I should also say that whenever Sekiro does parry his attacks, it inflicts nearly full posture meter, so you better not miss that shit. Once we get him into phase 2, things get a bit easier since he uses a sword to attack instead of his hands. Though this took an extremely long time, as my low attack power basically tickles the boss every time I hit him. We take him down and get one of the main key items to progress through the story. Up next, we are gonna attempt Corrupted Monk again. Now, I did originally try to do the cheese for this boss using the ash, snap seeds, and the firecracker, but had no success. I could have grinded for the items, but decided to get good, as the kids say, and just fight this boss normally. This boss's fight in total, I believe, took like 15 minutes, and was me purely focusing. I think this is one of the biggest issues with any challenge run, is the player's skill matters, but persistence and determination are more important, I think. The hardest thing for me was not getting hit often, as she has very quick attacks that are followed by super slow staggered ones, and she flips between them. As long as I was able to correctly read her moves or stay out of her range, I could get in some nice hits. With blood, sweat, and tears, we take her down and head into the final area of the game for this run. At the top of Ashina Castle, where we fought Genichiro, we find Emma, the Gentle Blade, and Ishin Ashina. These are the two final bosses in the Shura ending, and these will be the bosses that give me the most trouble. I initially went in and tried to take her on. Mind you, I have played Sekiro a fair amount before, but AP1, Demon Bell, and Charmless almost makes these later game bosses into completely different beasts. The issue with these two that arose was with Emma using her 4-part combo, and she's using her 2 swords, it would always mess me up. Then with Ishin, his thrust perilous attack, first attack, it would always mess me up in that combo. Eventually, I decided to grind to get some levels, but also to get some useful consumables. Farming these two guys before Emma and Ishin's fight yielded me a fair amount of experience points, healing pellets, divine confetti, and other consumables. I recommend to anyone having trouble with this challenge run, or maybe the Shura ending, to farm up a bit here before going into the fight. After hours upon hours of practicing and farming for experience points, we finally get the run. I wanted to buff up as much as possible with my sugars to avoid damage as much as possible. Ungo's sugar is great for Ishin's second phase, and both of these fights are about patience and letting them attack first most of the time. I like to keep up the pressure on Emma, and then with certain attacks backing off to do a thrust attack. Even though I am AP1, these two bosses have very low vitality, which will be extremely helpful. Eventually we take down Emma and head into Ishin's fight, but not before buffing up real quick. The final boss, Ishin, was such a fun but stressful fight. Balancing pressuring him while also taking things cautiously was a tough act. Thankfully, I have a lot of experience against him, but still random RNG and human error can occur. In his phase 2, things get really tricky. First off, he gains several fire attacks, but also this insane combat art. This combat art, I don't think I've ever been able to parry all the attacks successfully, so it deals a lot of chip damage to me. I do have a bunch of healing pellets alongside some rice, which was extremely helpful. The Mortal Blade is great for him, and that is one of the reasons I saved my spirit emblems for his phase 2. This way I'll be able to get a ton of damage and not put myself into extra harm's way. With time and patience, we take him down. And yeah, this was Sekiro AP1 Demon Bell and Charmless. I had a lot of fun doing this run and also felt a lot of frustration and pain. I really hope you guys enjoy the run. If you would like to see me do AP1, Demon Bell, Charmless, and no upgrading Vitality, let me know in the comments below. Any challenge run I do, you can check out fully on the VODs channel. So I'll link that in the description below. Expect to see a bunch of Sekiro Elden Ring content coming to the channel. Thank you to everyone for coming and watching the video. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to support me. It means so much. Have a fantastic day. Try and do something nice for someone today if you are able. This is your boy Skilled Fawn, and I'm out.